today's video, I'm super excited to share my spring collection. So I'm calling it a collection because it makes me feel very fancy, but also because it's kind of the pieces that I've made this spring. Well, it's kind of like a follow-up to like my spring plans video. Not all of it is what I had planned, but I kind of learned some things along the way and made some changes. It also is not everything that I made because I did some pattern testing, and I also had like some flops, some sewing fails that I will share later. But yeah, these are kind of the pieces that really like encapsulated what I was wanting from my spring wardrobe, as I had talked about in my spring plans video. So back in like February, early March or so, I went through my fabric and my pattern stash and kind of pulled out some pieces that I knew I'd wanted to make for spring. And I put those all together, but admittedly they were like very fabric driven. Yeah, it was really based on the fabric that I wanted to use up this season. And it ended up being, I did use some of them, but definitely not all. So I had made, I think I had planned 11 items, and I did end up making 10 items, but they're definitely not the same ones. So I had planned on making 3 tops, 3 bottoms, a loungewear set, and 3 dresses. So as you can see, there are no dresses. I didn't end up making a single one. I ended up doing more separates and also finding some fabrics that were really, that kind of matched my goals. So those goals that I talked about in my spring wardrobe planning video were that I wanted more separates. Even though I ended up planning dresses, I still wanted to focus on separates, and I have definitely done that. And then my second goal was color. So I definitely branched out a bit with these like bright purples and like bright greens. So I'm really excited that I was able to add those in as kind of like extra pieces. When I initially made my plans, I was really hoping for like an almost complete, totally 100% cohesive capsule wardrobe. And I think I got close. There's a couple things in here that I wouldn't necessarily wear together. I learned that the things that I thought would like be so perfect together maybe were not actually that way in reality, or at least for like my feeling of what I wanted to pair together. So yeah, I'll go through and kind of talk about what I have learned as I worked through this spring wardrobe. So I'll start with what I'm wearing. So this is the Chalk and Notch Wren Blouse with the True Bias Mave Skirt. So these were 2 pieces that I initially envisioned going perfectly together, and I think it's okay. Like, I don't think they don't match necessarily, but I think the vibe is a little more like on the cutesy prairie side, which is wonderful, but it's not really like the vibe that I'm going for with my style at this time. So it's probably not something I would wear together out. I think there's like other things that I would rather mix and match with. But individually, I really, really love both of these pieces, and I know I'm gonna get a ton of wear out of each one of them. So as I said, this is the Chalk and Notch Wren Blouse. It's becoming one of my favorite blouse patterns. I really, really like it. I made the size 18, and it fits me really perfectly. I very often struggle with woven patterns, like in the like shoulder sleeve area. And this one I did not have to do any adjustments for, so that is excellent. But I did do a fun little sleeve hack. So I was wanting sleeves more like the Fiber Mood Norma, or perhaps the Anna Allen Anthea blouse. And so I thought I was going to have to like lengthen the like short puff sleeve that comes on the Wren But looking at the pattern, I discovered that all I needed to do was make the long sleeve version and just omit the second lantern piece and the cuff and just add some elastic, and I have this nice little puff sleeve. It's like, it's not super puffed, it's not like really in the like peasant blouse, big sleeve energy category, but it's just enough, and I really like it and I'm really happy with it. It was a really fun sew. I really like the techniques that is used in the Wren blouse. I really love Chalk and Notch's instructions. I ended up needing a little extra support for the way they do the facing is really cool, but a little tricky, and it's great they've got a YouTube tutorial as well as like a full sew along on their website. So it was a really fun and satisfying sew, and I know I'm definitely going to wear it a whole bunch, through the spring and summer. So the True Bias Mave Skirt was on my Make 9 this year and last year, and I'm really glad to have finally made it up. So I went with the mini version. It's a super easy and really like fun pattern. I think the thing that was like the most difficult was deciding which like proportions to mix and match. And the instructions have a really great like chart to see what lengths and which pattern pieces you'll want to like fit together based on what kind of skirt you want to make. So if you want to make like all short tiers but in a maxi length, like it has that, versus like the mini but without a ruffle. So there's like a whole bunch of options, which I found a little overwhelming, but I did finally narrow it down, and I decided to do the mini length, so it hits me just above the knee, and I went with the like short ruffle. So I cut it the skirt piece at the hip, and yeah, I think it's really fun. It's very like breezy and flirty, and I feel like I should be on the beach. It's super cute, and it was so satisfying to make. Like, this blouse was really satisfying to make because I was learning new techniques and like seeing how everything kind of fit together. The skirt was really satisfying because it just goes super, super quick. So that was really fun. I'll talk about the pockets for a minute because I'm always like ranting about pockets. They are inseam pockets, but I did not top stitch them down this time because the instructions have you make these like little bar tacks. They're not quite bar tacks, but like little stitches here and here, which kind of encourage the pocket. I would not say it like lays completely straight, but they're not like wrapping behind, which is my biggest pet peeve. So I love that. It was really fun to make. I did some like contrasting top stitching thread, mostly because when I started the project, I didn't have a matching color, and I was like, oh, I don't want to go to the store. And then I like ended up running out of my white thread anyway and still having to go to the store. But I think it's really cute. I think it kind of gives it like a little more dimension and kind of like a vintagey vibe, though, I mean, you'd have to be really like close to me to even see it, but I know it's there and I really like it. So the second outfit that I have is this peppermint Paddington top paired with the Pietra Pants. So I really like this like analogous color scheme with like the dusty blue with the like really bright purple. I think that's really fun. So the top is a free pattern from Peppermint Magazine. It was designed by French Navy. And I won't talk about it too much because I did have it in my March makes, which seems like so long ago. This was the first spring make that I actually made, so I've gotten to wear it a whole bunch. I really like the puff sleeves and the raglan. It's really fun. And the Pietra Pants are really great too. I made these in a linen. Now I'm hoping that they will soften up. They're not like scratchy or anything, but they could definitely like use a couple goes in the wash machine. mostly because everything like sticks to them. Like I have a lot of cat hair on them because I have a white cat, and linen seems to want to stick to all of that. So that's my only like issue with these. These are the wide leg version of the Pietras, which I think is my favorite. I did have to hem them like quite a bit. I made the cropped length and I took some off, and then they were still like full length on me, so I'm not sure what that was, because I didn't have that problem with the tapered version, which I'll share in a minute. But yeah, I really like them. They're definitely one that I had to change my mindset a little bit while making them, because I often just like want to read through the instructions, put them away, and sew. But you really can't do that, I've found, with closet core patterns. They always have like something cool and unique with their construction. So between like the pocket, which is like folded over, and then they do the back facing with the elastic in a way that I had never seen before. So these are my third pair of Pietras. I have a pair of shorts I made last summer, then I made the green ones, and then these. And I feel like by the time I made these ones, I'm like, okay, I finally know what's going on. But yeah, they always have something like special and unique, which makes me like need to slow down, keep my instructions in front of me, and like really be a bit more mindful, which is something I could use in my sewing practice instead of just kind of like skimming through and then doing whatever I want. It's nice sometimes to slow down and like just really trust the instructions and like let them take you through. So that was my experience with these pants. Again, I love the color. They're super cute. Okay, so I'll need to breeze through these couple makes because it is very, very hot. I think I have kind of missed the window on this outfit and will probably not be wearing it much until the fall, but I'm still really happy with both of these pieces. This is the Helen's Closet Jackson pullover, and these are the Closet Core Plateau Joggers. So I've made the Jackson pullover before, and yeah, it was really simple and really fun to construct. This fabric right now feels horrible because it is so hot up here, but it's really, really cozy. It's like somewhere between a t-shirt and like a sweatshirt fabric. So the inside is like brushed, but it's not fleecy necessarily, and it's not quite as like thick and heavy as a sweatshirt, but it's definitely like more substantial than a t-shirt. And it's super stretchy, and it has these cute little like fleckies in there. It's really soft and cozy, so it is perfect for a little loungewear set. The pants, like I said, are the Plateau Joggers, and these are really fun to make. Again, like the Pietras, like I needed to just kind of put my own construction methods aside and actually like trust the instructions and go by that, because I like still like I made them, but like I couldn't tell you how the pocket works. I know that like I did it and I was like, I don't know how this is gonna turn out, but okay. And then like it works and they're great. The only thing I'm bummed about is that my machine, I wish I hadn't top stitched the edge of the pocket here, because my machine definitely like stretched it out, which was unfortunate. But other than that, I am really happy with both of these pieces, and I'm sure I will wear them a lot when the weather cools down. So the first three outfits, well, two outfits in the lounge set, those were on my spring sewing plans. Those are the things that I like pulled out of my fabric stash and yeah, compiled into what I thought was going to be like my capsule wardrobe for spring. And there were definitely like, there was more on that list. And these are kind of where it deviated a little bit. But again, I was like, And the skirt is a new pattern, and yeah, looking at the things I had made on the list versus some of these new ideas that I had were really kind of more in line with like the vision I had of mixing in color, creating more of like a capsule wardrobe. So this is the Comfy Tee from Pattern Scout. It's part of the Comfy set, which is technically a loungewear set, but it makes for a really great everyday tee. And then this is the newly released Forget Me Not Natalie skirt. This is probably my favorite piece, definitely of the collection, but I think like that I've made this year so far. It all started when I watched Dead to Me on Netflix, and there is a character, her name is Judy, played by Linda Cardellini, and her wardrobe is just like, I want to recreate it all. So I was looking at her wardrobe, and she has a couple of like staple pieces. It's really nice. It's one of the few shows that like they actually show repeat outfits, which I think is very cool. But yeah, she like has a lot of outfits that are like a 70s denim skirt paired with a stripy tee, or paired with a blouse, or like a little like suede brown jacket. And yeah, I just really loved her whole look, and I want to, like I said, recreate everything that she wears. But I thought I would start with a denim skirt. So I was looking, I had my eye out for like a really A-line skirt that I could use stretch denim with, and right as I was kind of like looking around, Forget Me Not started testing for the Natalie skirt, and when I saw the line drawing, I was like, this is so perfect. I love like gored or like paneled A-line skirts. I think they're super satisfying to sew. I think the shape it gives is always really nice. Got these great slash pockets, and I went for like little tortoiseshell buttons to kind of play up that vintage vibe. I've seen a lot of like denim or like cotton twill versions with either jeans buttons or snaps, and I think those are super cute, but again, I wanted like that 70s vibe. I love that there's belt loops, so I can get like some brown in here because like all the 70s stuff. Yeah, I really love it. I made it in a stretch denim that I got from Yes Fabrics, which whenever I say Yes Fabrics, I feel like I have to be like, Yes Fabrics. So that's how we all feel about fabric, right? Anyway, so that's the skirt. I could waffle on like for days. I wear it all the time, like literally yesterday. I really love like matching lots of things in my wardrobe. It's super versatile, but still has like, but it's not boring. Again, because I think like the shape and that like vintage feel make it feel really me, but also again like really versatile. So since I was out to create a Judy Hale look, I also went on a hunt for some stripy jersey to make a form-fitting t-shirt from, and I'm super happy with this. Yeah, I really like the colors in this. This is definitely like not in the Judy Hale color palette with like the blue and green, but I really love it. I think it's really cute with the like mustard, and I really like it with the skirt. I went with the Comfy Tee because I had made one back in January. Yeah, like I said, it's a loungewear set, like pajama pattern, but the like close fitting tee works really great for what I wanted because I knew I'd want to tuck it in. I wanted something like really close to my body that wasn't going to like, you know when you like try to tuck in t-shirts that are like a little bit too loose and like one side is blousey and the other side is like, I don't know. So I just wanted something like really nice and fitted, and I think I got there. I did have to do a lot of tweaking for the fit. I ended up taking quite a lot out of the shoulder, so I basically did like a sloping shoulder and a narrow shoulder adjustment, so then I had to adjust the sleeve as well. I still have like some plushing here The pattern does come with 3 bust cups, so I did the D cup in a size 18, and like, yes, there is still a little bit here, but I'm okay with that. Like, it's a t-shirt, it fits me way better than anything that I would buy at the store. So yeah, I'm really happy with it, and I really like this whole look. So the last outfit that I made is this really fun spring green little cord set. So I have to give my little like disclaimer that this fabric was gifted to me from Minerva in exchange for a post on their site, which I'll link below if you want to read a bit more about it. But usually I don't include my Minerva makes in like either on my Instagram or here on YouTube, just because like the arrangement is for me to post over there and I'm not like paid to do it. But in this case, I just like really loved it so much that I really wanted to share, so I'm doing that. This is an enzyme washed linen in the color olive green, and it is like, it's like a true olive green. Like if you picked an olive off of a tree, it is super bright. It's really like fun and springy. And yeah, I really, really love it. So I made the Hannah tank from Pattern Scout. It's one of my tried and true patterns. I only have 2 of them in my wardrobe currently, but I've made like 5 maybe. I really want a dress for the summer again. And yeah, I really love this pattern. It's super fun. And then I paired it with the tapered version of the Pietra Pants. So both of these were like emotional makes, so I will get into that a little bit. Firstly, the pants. I objectively love them. The linen is super soft. It feels really good on the skin. I love the shape, and the style is really, really fun. They do, however, highlight like a part of my body that I'm not a super fan of, so I'll just like kind of be vulnerable for a minute and share where I am with my journey towards like body positivity, body neutrality. So I feel like these pants like really emphasize my like hip dips here. And I'm working on giving myself some grace about that. Again, it's like not a part of myself that I like, but I'm also like reminded that I don't need to like how every part of my body looks. Like my body is still great as it is, and it is a process undoing all of the messages that like we grow up with about what beauty looks like. And I think these pants are giving me a great opportunity to put that into practice, because I do truly believe in body neutrality and body positivity, but that doesn't mean that I have to like everything. And these pants are great and I should wear them and accept my body for what it is. So that's my like emotional journey with these pants. And this top, while I absolutely love wearing it, my making experience was not good at all. Again, not because of the pattern. It's a pattern I've made a whole bunch of times. It's like the construction is great. It's a really fun blouse to put together. However, I was in like a really hard spot with my ADHD, and I got really, really hyper focused. And so where I was, in some ways it kind of shows me how much I have grown, but it also showed me where I need like some more help. So basically, as I was making this top, I knew I wanted to make some changes to it. So instead of doing a baby hem, I did a full facing for the tie. I find that it's like a bit cleaner and a lot easier to sew. Like the curve is super steep on the tie, and I just find like rolling that hem It's really hard. So there is a blog post on how to draft a facing. And so I was working my way through that and kind of tweaking it to be my own, and would find that like I need a break. I need to go get some water. I need to pee. It's time to go to bed. Like all very normal things and normal reasons to take a break from sewing, which are normally things that I have a hard time identifying. Like when I get into hyperfocus, I am like locked in and I like won't even notice that I'm thirsty or hungry or have to pee. But this time, like I did notice those things, and I chose, like I made the conscious step to like take a step back and like, nope, we're done for the night. Like it's time to go to bed, or whatever the case was. And so that was really good. However, my like internal monologue was like so mean. I found myself saying things to myself like, if you don't finish now, you'll never finish because you can't follow through on anything. You are really bad at finishing what you start. If you don't finish it now, you'll forget how to do it. Like really absurd things, because for one, like I can obviously finish a project. That is it's definitely things that I've heard before as someone with ADHD, but is not necessarily true anymore. And then like the other one that like if you don't do it right now, if you don't keep thinking about it, you'll forget. Like there's literally instructions. So it was great for me to see like how my internal monologue is sometimes a bit absurd, and how my mental health and mental state like can affect things. So I wanted to share that. It was a really tough experience, but it was really good for me to be like, no, you'll be fine. You will finish this tomorrow. You'll finish it in a couple of days. It's okay to take a break. That was really a good practice for me, even though it was really, really hard for me to get through. And I share it because I feel like while it's true that sewing can be really great for our mental health, I feel like that's kind of a message that gets like touted a little bit in the sewing community, that like it's so great, and like it's not always great. So I wanted to be like upfront about that, or like honest and open about that like there are also times like yes, it can be really good for our mental health. There are also times where like mental health issues and sewing intersect, and it's not always like sunshine and rainbows. So that was a really like good growth experience for me. Like I said, it showed me how far I've come in that I was able to actually break some of that hyper focus, but also showed me like where I need some more help. So I'm working towards that. And I do have a really great top that I got out of it. I love wearing this, especially when I can like separate the mess that was making it. It is like everything I like. I love the colors. I love these really special shell buttons that I found at my local haberdashery. It's got a tie front. It's like all of my spring summer boxes checked. So that is this outfit. Thanks for bearing with me in my like vulnerable, emotional rant. Well, reflection. We will call it a reflection. So that is my spring collection. I had a lot of fun making it, from the like planning processes to like actually making it and seeing like how what I needed was sort of evolving, and so like making those changes, and now seeing everything like made up together is super cool. I really like doing it. Planning for a season has been really fun. This is my first time like trying that. I used to just go like pick a couple things that I wanted to make monthly, but I really like doing it this way. Like, yes, my videos are longer. Thank you for sticking with me. But I really like this because it kind of allowed me to see my wardrobe like a little bit more, what do I want to say? Like bird's eye view, umbrella, what? Yeah, I think you know what I mean. Like, to see the bigger picture of how each item like fits in and can be like mixed and matched. I love that, for example, like this top I can wear it with some of my older makes and it kind of like freshens it up a little bit. So I love that, kind of bringing new energy to my older makes and incorporating those, as well as like mixing and matching them like together just within the collection. So that has been really fun. I'm really glad that I made the changes that I did instead of just like sticking to my plans for the sake of sticking to my plans, I guess. And yeah, kind of I love the planning phase. Like, that is really, really fun for me. I love my like color-coded Excel sheet with all of like my ideas. That part of the process is super fun, but then to like, I feel like planning and executing like a season is nice because I can still have that, but then like incorporate some in the moment creativity, like with my like Judy Hale outfit, finding fabrics and patterns for that was kind of felt like on a whim, but it's still something that really reflected like the goals that I had with my spring wardrobe, to incorporate more color, to create pieces that would mix and match together. So kind of starting with those as my goals for the season, rather than like specifically this fabric, this pattern, this number of pieces, allowed me to create a lot of things that I'm definitely going to wear and love for seasons to come. So yeah, really, really happy with this collection. I really liked doing it this way. So I've already started like my summer plans, and I've started making some of those. So you'll see probably another video like this for my summer makes coming up soon. So yeah, that is all for me today. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, happy making. Bye!